Let me tell you how I saved my client $600 or more and how I may be able to do the same for you. My client is a young lady with her first car, and it happened to shut down in the middle of the road while she was driving into the city. She called me frantic, and I promptly reminded her that she most likely had roadside assistance through her insurance. I helped her arrange a tow truck and had the car shipped to a local Toyota dealer. This is where our troubles began. See, a sleazy service writer began to explain to my client that her MAF sensor failed, saying that it would be a $600 repair, and out of the kindness of their heart, they would throw in the throttle body cleaning. I spoke to the service writer myself and said, "Why is it $600? He explained that the MAF sensor needed to be programmed. I promptly explained that maybe he meant that it needed the relearn procedure. He said no, it required programming and 2 hours of labor, which I thought was excessive. So I told her to pay for the diagnostic fee and that I would pick up the car from the dealer myself. Let me show you how simple this job is so you can do it yourself and save lots of money." For those investigative types that are trying to put timelines together, all of this transpired while I was on vacation and getting ready to fly home. So when I got home the next day, I went to go pick up the car at the dealership. Now, I did this work right in front of them so that they could see me do it. And it's this simple. You just pop the hood, and then you go ahead and disconnect the negative cable on the battery post. That simple. A 10 millimeter socket with ratchet will do that for you. Nice and easy. Just disconnect it. Now there's no more power to the system. Right on top of the engine is the MAF sensor. That's how simple it is. 2 Phillips screws and 1 electric connector. So you go ahead and disconnect it by placing your thumb in the back and pulling, and then the Phillips screwdriver just unscrews those screws. The hardest part of this procedure is being careful not to lose those screws. They're really small and they could fall in the engine, and if you lose them, you're going to be crying. So don't lose them. You just pop out the MAF sensor like that and grab the new MAF sensor. Make sure that it is OEM. Denso is the company that makes the sensors for Toyota. That's their OEM manufacturer. Go ahead and place it back in its place. Get the 2 Phillips screws and screw them back in. Now let's go ahead and reconnect the electrical connector just by pushing it in, and there you go, the MAF sensor is replaced. What you would do next is the relearn procedure. Reconnect your negative cable back on your battery, use your 10 millimeter socket with your ratchet, and we have power to the system. All right, gang, so here is the, in air quotes, the programming that the technician had to do. This is called the relearn procedure. You turn on your car, okay, until it reaches temperature right there. You see that, how the line is in the middle? Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and turn off the car all the way there, right? Now we're gonna put in the key. We're gonna go to second position, bring it down, second position, and engage the brake and start the car. And then you're going to put in the emergency brake, put this in drive, and just keep your foot on the brake if you're going to stay here, but you want to keep this around for 5 minutes or so. I have my little computer plugged in here so I can look at the RPMs, and we want those RPMs to settle there. The expectation here is to watch the needle on the RPMs move all the way up to 1,000 plus and then slowly come down as the computer begins to learn the new devices that you've plugged in. And it'll come down and settle right around the, let's say around 750 to 630 or 690 mark, okay? If it settles anywhere between there, relax, it's okay. It's a variable place where it needs to settle. You should know something about the relearn procedure. Cars are always relearning things that are happening to it, right? Depending on the type of fuel that you use or how much fuel it needs to stay idling or how much carbon builds up or how much no carbon is in the engine. The engine is always having to adjust for these minor things that are happening to it, and it's really an intelligent system. The problem is that the dealer here said that it needed to be programmed. There are devices in your vehicle that actually do need a specific program to be loaded to it, and that's when you need a professional. But the relearn procedure is very different. The relearn procedure can be done by pretty much anybody. You can actually do it, many have reported, that you go ahead and just remove the battery cables, let them sit off the car for about 5 minutes, and then pop them back on, and the car will relearn all the devices by themselves and readjust the idle to be right. That's all we're working with here is the how the car is going to go ahead and idle with the new devices plugged in. Guys, this is something you can do at home, and it's no need for a dealership. We thank the dealership for going ahead and diagnosing the problem, but 2 hours labor for this seemed very excessive. Now we're going to go ahead and finish the other item that the dealer said we needed to do, which was clean the throttle body. That is also something you probably can do yourself if you're not scared of taking some parts off. As we continue discussing this car, this is a 2009 Toyota Camry with a 2.4 liter 4-cylinder engine. And here's how you remove all the stuff to get to the throttle body to clean it. The first thing you're going to do is get to these 10mm fasteners. You got one here on the airbox, and then jumping over to the back of the airbox, you've got one right there. See it? Now from there, you want to go ahead and move over to the MAF, or mass airflow sensor, and just remove the electrical connection behind it. You don't need to unscrew it, okay? Then next to that, you've got another sensor right here that has another electrical connection. You want to remove it, and this actually has 2 air hoses that go into it. You've got one right there, as you could see it, coming in on the side there. And then you've got one underneath it. I'm going to go ahead and angle it as much as I can so you could see it. The next thing you want to do is remove some of the air hoses, or loosen them up. You've got 10mm or Phillips screws right here. That one right there. And then you've got that one right there. This is some type of expansion unit. That's the only thing I know to call it. The next thing you need to remove is this hose right here. You can remove it from here, or you can remove it from here. But either way, you want it out of the way so it's not holding it down and making your life hard. Then you've got the other expansion unit. That's what I'm going to call it. This guy right here. It also has a 10mm fastener right there with a Phillips indentation. Then you get to the throttle body. We go ahead and move this up, and you can see that there's that clamp holding down the hose right where you need to clean it. You need to squeeze that guy, and a long needle nose set of pliers will work. If not, there is a specific tool you can use for it. It's pretty expensive, but it's up to you if you want to get it. You just undo it there, and this whole thing comes right off. There's the throttle body right there. We're gonna go ahead and clean it, and we're gonna clean it the easy way. We're not gonna remove the whole thing out and clean it, which is the best way to do it, but I have a feeling it's not as dirty as we think it is. You will need your battery to be connected for the throttle body to obviously to open, because it's an electronic throttle body. Now we're gonna put in the key. We're gonna go to second position. At this point, get a friend to sit in the car and step on the gas and keep his foot on the pedal. Okay, you want to get yourself a microfiber cloth like this, okay? And then you're going to get yourself the right stuff. Throttle body cleaner. Only use throttle body cleaner. Now you want to spray the cloth itself. You're not going to spray the throttle body, okay? Then you're going to take this and you're going to wipe the throttle body. We're going to go ahead and turn on the light here so you can see. And what you want to do is you want to clean the throttle body around the ring and this little flapper thing so that it's shiny. Very much how it is now. It was a little dirty, but I've been kind of cleaning it here, and you could see how clean it is. Now, what happens is when this closes, it leaves a little space up on the top and on the bottom, and that space allows for only a certain amount of air to come in. That air is what allows for your idle to be regular. It provides the right mixture of air, spark, and fuel to happen. When there's buildup, this flapper has to open up just a little bit, and that little bit of opening causes for too much air to come in, needing for more fuel and more spark and a rough idle, okay? So there you go. That's what it kind of looks like. We're going to go ahead and take this microfiber cloth here. All right, you don't want to use a paper cloth or anything like that, anything made from paper or towels, anything like that. You don't want anything going and falling in there. You will be stuck having to dig it out, and you will hate yourself for it. And you don't have to be rough. You don't want to force this closed or open, or don't use any hard pressure. Just clean it. Just clean them up. Okay? And then after that, you got to do your relearn process. Okay? That's it. Now you put it all together. All right, so here we go. We're going to put the key in and go to the second position. Come all the way back. Second position, come all the way back. And then we're going to go turn it on. We're going to put our foot on the brake. We're going to put the parking brake on, just like that. We're going to come over here to the shifter and put it in drive. Pretty sad that you have to pay $500 to replace a mass airflow sensor and maybe clean your throttle body, which you could do at home. This is why I have my channel. This is why I do what I do. This is Ed the Old Tech Guy telling you I love you, and I'm signing off.